Hi, everyone. It's nice to be here. I'm always impressed with the work that's going on in the project. And so hopefully the social sciences, the education, and the risk communication, the risk and crisis communication work that's coming out of this project will be reflected in the Healthy Farms, Healthy Agriculture website. We are in the part of the phase where it's just on a staging site right now. It's not public, and I'll show you what it looks like in a moment from the staging site, because there's a lot of information that that has been developed and that we are developing. Understanding what the needs of the audiences are that we are going to target, incorporating the findings from the research, from the project, and putting that into an online presence, a 24/7 online presence that any producer, anyone who works with animals or down the road, plant biosecurity also, will be working in those phases once we complete the animal biosecurity part of the website, so that you can get, as an audience person, the type of information that is appropriate for the work that you're doing, that it's understandable. And I'll borrow some of the terminology from a previous presenter, that it mitigates risks and saves lives. So the Healthy Farms, Healthy Agriculture logo is at the top, and we'll be using that to brand materials on the website, also fact sheets, other kinds of materials. This is directed at on-farm biosecurity best practices. And what I'll do now is hopefully be able to get you to the website. Okay, so this is just the very top of the homepage. And like I said, we're in development right now. Julie has just hired 2 interns that are going to help us through the summer with developing content. Julie had an ag biosecurity website that was hosted on UVM's servers, and we're extracting all of that content, and that will be incorporated into this site. But we're also going to be reaching out to the subject matter experts in this audience at the universities that we've been collaborating with and in other places to hopefully share information that they have developed as well, where appropriate on the site. So what I wanted to point out just right now are the navigation elements and how we're approaching this website. So the theme, if you see up in the navigation, is prevent, detect, respond. So people remember really quick 3 things you get to remember about biosecurity: how to do prevention, how to respond, how to detect it, surveillance, and how to respond if there is something that happens on your farm. So if I hover over the prevention aspects, you see there's a lot of pages in the prevent section of the website, because of course what we want people to understand is prevention is the best strategy right away. You do what you can, and even though it looks like there's a lot of stuff up here, we're going to be building the site in a way so that someone can be guided through steps. We'll introduce little prompts along the way. We're not going to force them into building a plan, but helpful hints about, hey, this is a great time for you to think about getting a premise ID or getting a Google map of your land and organizing this information somewhere so that you have it if something ever were to occur. But also just getting that information in a place so that they can think about all of the places on the farm, places of entry, places of exit, where there could be biosecurity concerns. And we see here there's general biosecurity, and when we're talking about general biosecurity, this is not targeted at any one particular animal. There's a lot of things in biosecurity that you can do that doesn't have to be because you have horses or because you have cows. We are going to have a place on the site where we do get a little bit more into a specific species of animal, but we're not going to be doing any kind of, we're not going to be putting any information about specific diseases in any detail. There's a lot of great information out there already, like on the USDA website that goes into very minute detail about specific diseases of different farm animals. So we don't need to repeat any of that. And what we're not trying to do with this site is to be redundant. And this is the detect section. So you can see we're looking at helping people to understand how to do surveillance on their farm, how to do it regularly, when you would call in a vet, how to do your own diagnosis when you would call in a vet. And then just in the response section, what happens if you actually do have an outbreak on your farm? And all of those steps. And what we're also going to be doing within this website is incorporating the different steps of risk communication. So in the prevention stage, what kinds of messages would you be giving to visitors or your farm hands or other people that you interact with on your farm? In the detect section, there would be that same sort of communication, the risk communication of surveillance. And then, of course, when they're actually experiencing some kind of disease outbreak, how to do crisis communication. And so we'll be incorporating those elements as well on the site. And I closed out my PowerPoint. There was only one more slide. So along with the Healthy Farms, Healthy Agriculture website, we're also going to, right now, running a Twitter. We started a Twitter feed. USDA APHIS has actually retweeted one of our tweets today from the symposium. I was pretty excited about that. So we're going to be using that as a promotion tool for the website and the content on there. And we're also going to be, right now is there, but down the road, once the site has a good standard of content development on it, we're going to be engaging our audiences with a forum. And tomorrow that's going to be a discussion, a little bit of discussion with the community of practices development and how the forum that is a part of this website will be used in developing those communities of practice. So that's all I have right now. Thank you very much.